Hello, welcome back to UFO news and channelings with me, and this time we have 10 news. It's more like 9. The first one is an introduction, and my cat is always around. And yes, we have had the World Cup, and Norway got to the quarterfinals, so we hope we could get longer, but we didn't, so that's how it is. And summer is going on. This is the UFO news for June and July 2026. So we are approaching the threshold, you could say. We are approaching 2027, and things are becoming revealed now, and there is more and more information about UFOs, more and more people filming them in the sky, and it seems like they have lost control over the situation, over the phenomena, and people are also seeing aliens and having more person to alien interactions, it seems. And the 4th edition of the UAP files on the Department of War in the United States has come out, and it shows different stuff, you know. It's interesting. And we also have a lot of different weather phenomena going on, and it seems like the climate is in a little bit of a change, so that's not good for us. Some extreme weathers around, and we can still change it if we become more loving and peaceful, and nurture our natures and biotopes. So, but it seems like it's not going into someone's head that we are dependent on this planet to survive, and that is all of us, even what kind of frequency you have. So you are dependent on the nature to survive, for food and shelter and the right temperatures and right conditions. So we humans are very vulnerable, but it seems like some people don't care about it. They just care about themselves and to fuck up as many people as they can before they leave this planet. That's what sums it up for me, at least. So you can also check out my new music with my music band. It's called Lighthouse Surf, and I have 2 albums now. The first one is Awakening. It's more like a demo album, and the second one is Metal DNA, and it's more handpicked by me and created by me, and I'm using my own voice. So it's a very good album, cool music, cool metal. It's about genetics, about aliens, about love, about war, about angels. You have everything stacked into one package. And the sun is changing our DNA at these days. We are getting more information, we are getting upgraded, we understand more, we are becoming more wise. At least I feel it on me that I'm caring more about nature. It's becoming more and more important. The animals, nature, the greens, trees. Without them we can't survive. We're not going to survive on just eating soil, you can say. We need nature around us. That's what we are dependent on. So check out my music. Number 2 is the Book of Light. And the Book of Light, this is the version you buy on Amazon. So it's now $32. It's gone down quite a while. Beautiful book. It surprises me every time I read it how much it touches you, and the frequency rises very fast, and it's up to you to keep that frequency, to not get dragged down again by all the concoctions and temptations the darkness is serving us now. But we are easily seduced, aren't we? And also this is this one I give to my friends and family and in gifts, you know. I have some left, you know. It's a little bit less or different. It's a little bit different built up, so you can't really write so much in it and draw so much in it. It's more like whole pages. This one from Amazon is more you can draw your own stuff around the pictures. You see here, and I have come pretty far, you know, in my own drawing. I come here, love. You can add to it. And then you can also, there's a couple of pages here you can draw what yourself like and love, you know. It's very good for the kids, to learn about UFOs and aliens, and also use their creative abilities, like drawing, and maybe they will become musicians and poets, you know, who knows. At least it's very good for teaching and learning the basics about extraterrestrials and UFOs. Thank you. Yeah, my cat he's making those sounds when he's catching the mouse. Yeah, he's calling on his family. Number 3, UFO batch 3 from the Department of War. Yes, welcome to UFO batch 3. And here you can see we are going through the different stuff in UFO batch 3. And this is a video of a light. It seems like it is an UAP or UFO. We're going further down, trying to see if we find something interesting. And here there's a red light flying around. Can't really see what kind of video it is, but you can see it, I guess. 2 red lights. We're going further down. So here is a UFO flying over a pond, it seems. A light hovering over a pond, a water pond. Quite nice, intriguing. So there are some nice pictures and videos coming out now. And you have all the civilian pictures too, so kind of an overwhelming, you know, flood of evidence. But people usually need to have, you know, their own experiences and their own kind of landing, you can say, moon landing experience to believe in the stuff. Here are 2 orbs over a urban environment. Quite nice, actually. So it could be drones, but it doesn't look like drones. The lights are enveloping the 2 objects. Looks very much like UAP or UFOs. Bad filming there, it seems. We go further down. This is batch number 3, which came in June. So this is an illustration, it seems. Like the moon is up and there are 3 lights kind of, yeah, moving across the sky. More illustrations. Yeah, there are strange things flying around in our atmosphere, but I guess the universe is creative and, you know, diverse, so it will make and create its own stuff, and how energy moves and sound moves, between dimensions and universes, that I think we are still trying to find that out. So seems to be no set borders to how it works. Oh, here you see some declassified material, but it is heavily, redacted. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, most is redacted, can't even read it almost. So it's so ironic, you can say. You're trying to release something and everything is blacked out. So maybe you get the content of the story, but you won't get any information of who was involved or where it took place, and yeah. They still want to keep it under wraps. At least we now know that they exist and that they in their custody. That's what they have said. So they're opening up, but they seems like drip feeding us with information. For UFO Batch 4 from the Department of War. Yes, hello. Welcome back to UFO Batch number 4 from Department of War from United States of America. And the first things we have here is some pictures, which is about UFO witnesses. This is a drawing about a UFO, it seems. And this is I don't know what it looked like, a UFO, but it can be a plane too, something they made which looks like a UFO. It had a cockpit, so it looked like a plane, So we go further. This came out the 10th of July. And it is interesting files and interesting pictures. Here we are just, digging through the files, you can say. Just drinking a little bit of coffee while I go through this. So I'm trying to find the videos here. There is a lot of pictures too. So here you can see some sort of drone filming something. I don't know what it is though. So maybe I think maybe these files are some of the worst, which has been, come out. It really doesn't see what it is, what they're filming. At least they are giving out files, but there should be more detail than this. It seems like it was a light moving past a camera or something. Yeah, I am trying to get it to restart the videos, but it doesn't seem to catch it on the. This is some sort of, there was some sort of movement there in front of the camera. We don't know what it is. A shadow and a rod, it seems. I know that the rods and lights, orbs can come from other dimensions. So, but they are not telling us very much about the other dimensions. Kind of strange. But they are there. This is a light over the ocean, and this is quite good. We have seen this type of videos before. So it's clearly in infrared or thermal. It might
we will also
be.
add batch 2 tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes. And here is a cool object. It seems like it has kind of some sort of arms or are stretching out. Moving. This is very good. It's moving over the ocean. Yes, very good. Here is some written letters about UFOs. I can't see really well here because the picture is so small. I can't really enlarge a picture too when I'm in this mode. In audio mode, record audio mode on this player. So here's another video about light hovering over the ocean. So we know that there are something. They are showing us that there are stuff, moving around. Acknowledging. Sorry. Acknowledging. Fuck, man. Acknowledging. Okay, yes, there we got it. Sorry about that. My Norwegian English is not always the best. Just some. What the fuck was that? Some sort of sound or something? Yeah, sorry, this is a little bit long, but we have to show everything, at least show what they have. We can't show everything, but we show the most important, at least the videos. So this is another video of an object. What it is, I don't know. It seems like they're zooming into it. Ah, this is quite nice actually. This might be a shape-shifting UFO, which shapeshifts, or it might just be a lot of balloons flying around, but it doesn't look like balloons. It looks like something else. I know that UFOs can take strange shapes and shapeshift, I guess you have all 5 oldies but goldies. We have 2 cases. It's about 10 pictures, I think.
A gentle swell of cosmic tones, light shimmering paths, drifting like stardust, soft female hymnal hums, pure and resonant.
6, Disclosure Foundation from 25th of June 2026. It's one video, it's very interesting.
Specifically pertaining to everything that you did with helping us locate some of these documents, because when we gathered our list together, kind of our wish list, if we could ideally have everything we wanted out declassified, we brought that list and said, where did you get this list? And we said, we have friends too. And so you would be one of our friends. I just, what we do is we can push, we can pull. DC kind of operates on two things, pain and pressure. So those are our levers that we get to pull. Sometimes we do both. And on this topic specifically, it has become so enormous with the interest that now you even have people that even a year ago, I was getting teased about it, okay? They're like, Luna, you're on Joe Rogan. This sounds a little crazy. Said, who's sounding crazy now, buddy? So all that, thank you. Yeah, all that to say that, this is a really big team effort. The one thing specifically, people say, we want to know where locations of craft and biologics are, right? So we know for a fact that there have been a few very credible whistleblowers that we've talked to that allege that they have information specifically pertaining to this, but they're afraid of losing their clearances. So we have talked directly to the White House. Stephen Miller is absolutely incredible on this topic. And we are providing them with a list of people that will be given immunity in that they will not have to face retribution in the future for violation of their security clearance, or in some cases, maybe the Espionage Act, whatever it might be. And that will be them going to the White House, divulging what information they have, and we're following up on it. I'm not saying that I have personally seen stuff, I haven't. But what I am saying is that we are taking the information that we have received, we are handing it off, we are going to get them immunity and protection so that they can divulge that information, and let's see where it leads.
Thank you so much. And I want to point out the modesty of this man. So Representative Carson, please join us on the stage. We have a seat for you right here. This man has been a leader in this topic, and the level of leadership and modesty, he was sitting in the back, like patiently waiting. Yes.
Oh, wow. And this is your year. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
So Representative Subramaniam needed to depart, but Representative Carson, welcome, and thank you so much. We've had several meetings with you and your team. You're a true leader on this topic. Another question that I wanted to ask of the group is, this sort of gets to the issues that were just discussed, but what asks do you have for the president, and how can organizations like ours and members of Congress and the tools available to you, how can we try to effectuate those asks?
I think we kind of mentioned it. I want to see it, everything made right to the people that have come forward and made sacrifices and that lost their pensions, their medical benefits, et cetera. I think that first and foremost, you got to make it right to those people. That will demonstrate to everybody else who wants to come forward that it's a safe place to come into. And then I think what Anna is leading on is fantastic, in that making sure that the administration knows that there may be some times where these individuals who they were promoted into a system or a program, sometimes they're now inheriting things where they realize, well, there's crimes involved in this. And so, if you want to, they're kind of put in an awkward situation. Do they do their patriotic duty? What do they do? I think that providing some level of amnesty for them to be able to come forward is very, very important. And then I finally think also that they need to waive the non-disclosure agreements on this topic. Particularly just waive it completely for anything related to the knowledge of life that's outside, non-human intelligence. I don't see why we possibly should even allow that to be a top secret thing. And so
if there's anything that's related to that, it should be waived. I think that's what our ask is of this administration, as well as to continue digging into the private sector. I think that a lot of this information is in the hands of either the archives of these federally funded research and development centers, and then further some of the prime subs that have been working on this topic. And so I think that it's going to take making it clear that to our major companies that we do business with, or do business with the United States, that it's okay to come forward. And I think that we're going to have a discussion if they're reverse engineering stuff that they got because it was from non-human intelligence. We need to make sure that we can have that conversation about intellectual property.
Number 7, UFO history. This time we have Stanton Friedman on his long service to the UFO phenomena and aliens and those gadgets and interests.
Be one, incidentally. So the subject of flying saucers, which I prefer to use, intelligently controlled vehicles, not just things that you don't know what they are because they're not close enough or whatever. The subject represents what I call a cosmic Watergate. And I hope most of you remember Watergate. I know it was before some of you were born, but still. A high-level official cover-up of significant information. Because some people know about what's going on doesn't mean all do. You got to be careful. The third conclusion is there are no good arguments against the first two conclusions. And the fourth conclusion is we're dealing with the biggest story of the millennium. I didn't say all millennia. I don't want to get into the religious arguments, what happened 2,000 years ago. I'm talking about, only the last 1,000 years. That's what matters. Okay. Now, I've done debates on UFOs. Fortunately, I can say I've won the ones where we've measured the reaction. And there's several areas that the debunkers focus on. First, that there is no evidence. Second, that you can't get here from there. Third, governments can't keep secrets with the internet and YouTube. You can't keep any secrets. I will guarantee you that that's nonsense. I've helped keep secrets. I had a clearance for 14 years. It's easy to keep secrets. And I'll tell you, once you get a security clearance, they put the fear of God into you. Keep your damn mouth shut. That's basically what it boils down to. Or you will pay a penalty. And that's not a $50 fine. Now, I've got a good bit of time today, and I do want to leave some time for questions at the end. But I'll try to lead you past some evidence that you may not have seen before. You haven't seen it here, because I haven't been here, so. Let's see. I have a book by that title, and I must apologize. I don't have any books for sale, because they're all sold. First day of the conference, all the books I brought, I didn't bring enough, obviously, were sold out. But I have a free list of books at my vendor table, and you can get them, and all the ones that I mail out are autographed personally, by me. I'm a one-man operation. People are surprised when I answer my phone. What do you think, I got a big corporation behind me? Not me. So that's one of the books, covers the waterfront on the subject. Now, evidence. It's funny how all the debunkers ignore the biggest study of flying saucers ever done. And it was done by the Air Force, or for the Air Force anyway. Project Blue Book, Special Report number 14. Now, unfortunately, the report itself wasn't really distributed. Instead, the Air Force in 1955 put out a press release in which they lied. I mean, I know that's inconceivable that a government agency would lie, but they did. This is a privately published version of this, thanks to Dr. Leon Davidson. That is not a photograph, that's a drawing made for introducing the subject. This study was completed in 1955. This is the third edition, 1966. Here's what the government said about this study. This press release got very wide distribution around the world. That was a little peculiar. It didn't give the title of the report. This study. Now, surely the press, if they had said Blue Book Special Report 14, would have said, hey, what happened to the other 13? We've never heard anything about them.
8. Task Force of Declassification of Federal Secrets.
We the people have a right to know. Reality should not be classified. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here today, and I just want to say, especially for the members standing behind us, as you know, this Congress, we were given permission to stand up the task force on declassification of federal secrets. Many of our colleagues did not believe in this up until really the videos started coming out, and had it not been for the efforts of Representative Burleson, Burchett, Moskowitz, and the countless of other members who have backed us in this fight, you probably wouldn't see some of these files and videos that are coming out today. But it doesn't just stop here. For some time, we've been pushing for there to be legislation, whether it be whistleblower protections or the UAP Disclosure Act, and it's been time and time again stonewalled by various intelligence agencies and staff within the House of Representatives, which is why we are grateful to the administration and their effort, as well as Stephen Miller's office, in pursuing the truth, something that we all should deserve transparency on. And so our next call to action will be that we are meeting with the White House. We are requesting that whistleblowers receive temporary immunity or permanent immunity, and if they are able to divulge whether it is locations of craft and or advanced technologies. As you know, this is something that we are all wanting to know the truth on, and again, without your cooperation, we wouldn't have been where we are at today, and so thank you. I'd like to now introduce Representative Eric Burleson.
Thank you all for being here today. I want to first begin by thanking everyone that's here, and I want to thank my colleagues behind me, this task force. We could not do this without the incredible leadership of Representative Luna and my colleagues on the team. We also wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the brave men and women who have come forward as whistleblowers, who have plowed that soil. We wouldn't be here without these individuals. And we also wouldn't be here celebrating the victories that we have were it not for President Trump. We finally have a leader that the American people can trust to challenge institutions that have grown far too comfortable operating without accountability. For decades, the American people have been treated like children, told that our government secrets that they don't get to know. Don't ask, don't expect answers, just trust the process. Well, the American people are done with that answer, and I'm done with that answer. Over the last 3 years, we have made more progress on this issue than at any point in modern history. We've held hearings. We've reviewed Russian and Brazilian records, including a formal FBI inquiry into the '96 Varginha incident, where witnesses alleged the Brazilian military captured non-human entities and craft and buried the truth. Today, Aldo, Rebello, who was the Ministry of Defense at the time, came forward and admitted that this event was true. We've sent targeted inquiries into MIT Lincoln Laboratories, MITRE, and every government agency that's been connected to UAP. We've worked with lawmakers across 4 continents. We've sought answers on cases like Matthew Sullivan, a would-be whistleblower whose tragic death deserves far more scrutiny than it has received. We've obtained video evidence, including the MQ-9 footage of a UAP incident off the coast of Yemen, delivered to my office through what can only be described as a Tom Clancy-style dead drop. Someone felt that they had, now think about this, someone felt they had to secretly hand information to an elected official, a member of Congress. Why would anyone fear bringing information to Congress? They shouldn't. We are no longer asking hypothetical questions anymore. Congress is requesting specific records and videos. These agencies and contractors know that we know that they exist, and we're going to get them released. We continue to receive credible claims of recovered craft and reverse engineering programs that may have operated for decades outside of any oversight. Those claims point to specific facilities, contractors, records, and people. Congress has a constitutional duty to follow them, and that duty does not vanish because someone stamped a document classified 30 years ago. It does not vanish because some bureaucrat says so. It does not vanish because a program has become so compartmentalized that even elected officials are expected to look the other way. The Constitution gave Congress oversight, authority for a reason. No elected bureaucrat has that authority. This information is not yours to keep. It belongs to the American people. They own it and they deserve the truth. The most important people in this story are the whistleblowers. David Grush, Admiral Gallaudet, Dylan Borland, Jeff Nusatelli, and the many others who haven't been named yet. Their careers were upended. Their families were torn apart. They endured an avalanche of stress, all because they believed this information belongs to you, the American people, and they attempted to and tried to get it to you. Some will say that they should have used more proper channels. To hell with the safe way. The safe way protects the system. These are people who simply wanted the American people to see what they know, and they deserve protection. They deserve our respect, and they deserve a second chance. And we are at a different time. This is the age of disclosure. Mr. President, I'm asking you directly, waive the non-disclosure agreements that still bind these patriots. Grant immunity to anyone and everyone who has already come forward and everyone who will come forward. Open the door and let them speak. Because unless people know they will be protected, why would they come forward and step forward otherwise? It is time that we flip the script entirely as well. It has been said by people in positions that know that even presidents have been kept on a need-to-know basis, that Navy pilots, admirals, and generals describe programs to senior officials that commander-in-chiefs were never briefed on, career bureaucrats who view presidents as temporary help, here today, gone tomorrow. That is not classification, that's a constitutional crisis. Transparency must be the default in the United States of America, and it should be required for those with knowledge to come forward, not wait for us to ask. There must
9 UFO videos. This time we have 3 videos, quite interesting videos.
A gentle swell of cosmic tones, light shimmering paths, drifting like stardust
Number 10 is a channeling with angels. Oh, yeah, it's intense now, you know. I just feel bombarded by a lot of stuff, you know, and at the same time everything comes to the surface, so it's kind of crashing, you can say. You see people seem to go crazy. Well, I should not laugh, but it's kind of humoristic too, you know. Let's see what they have to say. It's a light, something green. Green energy, green light. Green light. Yes. It's an angel of love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I am here again to show you love, show you understanding, show the light. Now you feel the pressure, you feel two ends meeting and converging into one, you can say, your shadow and your light converging into one with acceptance and with love and with unity. You see yourself as a wholeness, a oneness, and you let go of the old, let go of the shadow. At least there is a pressure there to let it go. This one is still struggling a little bit to letting it go, to let the tear flows, but you need to release the stuff. Eventually it will kind of trickle itself out into releasing, and the shadow is also playing itself out, so you can release it instead of having the blockages. So you have the wisdom and the light and understanding of what you have been going through. There is also what you see many times, but people don't understand what is going on because they have been tricked and controlled and manipulated for a long time. So they don't understand that the shadows are playing out to get released, so they can finish it, so it's out of their system and they can trickle in the new loving light natures, animals, you know, the greenery, everything which is important for you to live. You can't live without it. You can't survive on earth without the food and the balancing light and warmth and climate, the biotopes, the animals, which really was meant to be there for love, for you to love, but also in a surviving state where you had forgotten who you were also meant as a food source. But as you now rise in frequency and understanding and wisdom, there is really no need to eat your animals. There is really no need to create suffering anymore. But the darkness, the dark ones which hold the shadow, which hold the low frequency, they are reluctant to let go of their agendas and their desires, you could say, which are their illusions which they have manifested onto themselves by removing themselves from the Creator and love over many lifetimes, over many incarnations around the universe. Some love it here, some has love being here in the 26,000 year cycle which has been coming down from the Atlantis fall, and it was part of the tide going back. Now the tide is moving forward again. So the universe is kind of pulsing, changing back and forth in an ever-present vortex, this realm, for the learning and for the gathering of wisdom and soul education. It is changing for a better time now, as the cycles have passed and the vibration is changing to a higher vibration. And there is also you see that they are reluctant to let go of their empires, their money, their beautiful creation, you can say, from their point of view. It's hard to let it go because it's so perfect in their eyes, Humanity is the perfect slave, you can say, the perfect victim to entrail and to force your agenda upon, because it is so resemblant to God's perfect vision of humanoid life, and also many of the other masters which serves his creations, his realms and constructs. They have created a being which truly is an honor to the creator of everything. And you love being human as long as you are happy and your desires are fulfilled. And what you see here now is not really what you are. It's just a soul expression or a soul vision for wisdom and growth, you could say. And then you say, how can you grow from suffering and pain? Well, it learns you to love again. It learns you sometimes to be humble, sometimes to see light more clearly. Like it becomes a longing for that which you truly are, which many of you feels now. The longing for love, the longing for partnership, the longing for a cuddle, a hug. Someone which can accept you for what you are, and that is a deep longing many of you have, because you have been rejected this love for so long, and also you have been rejected and mocked and turned away from other people when you really wanted to be accepted, nurtured and loved for who you are. We see that pain, and it will be lifting now. If you go out, seek, because you are manifesting faster now, so you have a much higher chance to find someone who you love if you just use that part, your heart. But you have to also try to release your blockings, try to release what is not serving you anymore. That is the hard part. This one is also struggling because he is fluctuating. At one time he is chasing his heart, at one time he's chasing the shinies and the dark temptations, you could say, which you are so used to running after because you have been programmed and nurtured from your kids to run after this goodies, you could say. And but you are now starting to think, what is going on? What is this really serving me? Is this good for me? Because the darkness feels more heavy now. It feels like there is kind of something which you want to let go of, which you want to release. So, but they are also, you know, listening in and following the end of the cycle and the beginning of a new, more positive cycle. And that is also their challenge, to maybe let go of that which was. And maybe some will join you, maybe some will find back to their home planets, maybe others will try to adapt to the new positive and visionary human being which is expanding and rising in frequency now. And you will see a lot of changes now, both within yourself and in society. Prepare yourself for change. Prepare yourself for giving and loving and nurturing nature. Just small steps will help you. Small steps will help you a lot. Listen to your heart. Listen to who you are. Listen to your soul whispering. Thank you. We feel this one's sorrow. We feel his mission. We feel his duty. We feel his pain. We feel that. But it will get easier when you yourself choose to let go of that which creates pain and heaviness in your life. It is hard. It is a masterful task. It is a feeling of growing when you finally release what is not needed anymore. Thank you very much, and may the light and love be with you forever, because we are there for you forever. Hey, ane o e, hey, ah.